Let's begin with taking a look at the image here. Take your time and look at it. If you need to click pause, please do. And tell me which source comes to mind. Go ahead and write that in the comments box below when you're ready. Hi class, it's Miss Miller here, and today we have a second Socratic seminar for you to listen to that took place yesterday or Wednesday of this week on the United States Postal Services. And as you listen to the entire recording for this, I would like for you to think about the difference between this recording or discussion and the one that you heard yesterday by the first group. And I want you to look at not necessarily whether it's good, bad, better, or worse, but I would like for you to look specifically for this group's approach to the topic of the United States Postal Services. How do they address it? Which sources do they utilize to answer some of the questions? So listen to these distinctions, and then in the comments below, go ahead and make some notes about how this argument or how this discussion is different from the first one. Okay?
So it's October 14th, and in our group we have Katrina, Alyssa, Erin, and Jessica. And the first question is, how is the argument to eliminate the USPS similar to that of the termination of the penny? And I think the two arguments are similar because the U.S. Postal Service and the penny has been in America for a long time, so it's kind of like a part of American culture, and some people will say it's essential to America. So they're kind of similar because they have an impact on our history and our culture.
What's your name? This is Alyssa, and I think that the argument to eliminate the USPS is similar to that of the termination of the penny is because the USPS has been seen by many as useless and very slow at times, and they would much rather like to be using like emails and much faster things like the internet to send mail rather than using really, really slow snail mail. And it's kind of similar to the penny because they thought that the penny was useless and they could just eliminate it. But but they found the penny. Some people found the penny as a part of our history and a part of America. So they kind of decided that it was going to be in the middle, which is kind of like what the USPS is right now. Not a lot of people use it, but still people who want to keep it are trying their best to keep it just like the penny. And I think that's similar. United States Postal Service.
Oh. The argument to eliminate USPS is similar to the termination of the petty is because people, they find that now that we have more things that are more valuable, such as the penny, how there were other coins that had more value. This is similar because now that we have the internet with email, they believe that the postal service isn't as important anymore now that we could use the internet to send messages to each other.
I was just actually going to say, this is Katrina, I was just actually going to say what Erin basically said, how the penny people they prefer to use other piece of coinage because they felt it had more worth to them than the penny did. And then with the USPS, people feel, yeah, the internet's better than the USPS, so they'd rather use the internet over the USPS.
So the second question is, why are some so reluctant to do away with the USPS? So personally, I think some people like to keep tradition and they like to get handwritten letters because it feels more special, and some others are like, not everyone has access to internet or a smartphone or something. So if we change to completely relying on email or the internet, then it wouldn't be like as convenient for those who doesn't have access to internet.
Okay, I'll give it to Alyssa next. This is Aaron Edwards, and I agree with Jessica when she said that they like getting handwritten letters, and I would also like to add that if we did it completely by the internet, sometimes the internet shuts down, and if we were to shut down the internet, and if the internet were to have a shutdown, then we could lose all the contacts that we have to email certain people, and so then with a handwritten letter you could keep it in a box and to have all the letters in there and you can remember where it was. So I think that's.
And my name's Alyssa again, and my idea is related to Jessica's and Aaron's because I think that so many people are reluctant or whatever that word is to do away with the mail thing because some people like personal letters and others don't really have access to the internet like email and social media and everything like that. So they try to stay with the post office because it's more convenient for them. And I also believe that some people stay with the USPS because if we were to all go web or internet-wise, when the internet does shut down, we will lose pretty much everything. That was like our only chance to store everything, and once that goes out, everything goes out with it. So, yeah, here's Katrina.
I mean, it seems rare that the internet would shut down, though. So I just want to give another example. People are always upgrading their cell phones. So, like the iPhone 6. Like the iPhone 6, people wanted to get the iPhone 6 Plus, so they upgraded their phone, and that way they lose all their data. But with the letter, they could have it and keep it and reread it all over they want, like over and over again.
I just wanted to add that for older people, like receiving a text message as an invitation to like a gathering or something seems really improper, and some people do like to get proper invitations with a card and everything. So the sending a text to others seems really improper if you want to invite them for like a proper or formal event.
I like what Jessica said, and I agree with her in the way that that since there are a lot of elder people that they didn't usually live with technology, that them transferring to the internet would be hard for them because since they have older age, they're more used to different things such as sending letters to their grandchildren and children. And
I agree with both Jessica and Aaron because, like Jessica said, older people don't really know what, like when they get a text to their birthday party, they don't feel kind of personal to it. It's just a text message on a screen. And with the letter, you're invited. They took the time to write that letter. And most elders don't understand how the internet works, so it'd be kind of hard for them to write a letter on the internet because they don't know what they're doing sometimes. So they might want to stick with the postal office for that too.
My name's Katrina. Too, when you send over a certain amount of text messages, they begin to go away after a while, so you could lose that important text that you might have liked. But with a letter, you get to keep it. And then with money-wise, it only costs 44 cents to send out a letter, but when you have a phone, it costs like $60, let's say, for unlimited text and everything. So money-wise, it's cheaper to send out letters than it is to send messages through a phone.
okay, I'm gonna say what I want to say, then the next question. Okay, but I would just like to say that there's also computers, and computers also contain emails, so you could have your emails that you have on your phone and your text messages, and you also have your emails on your computer. But on to the next question. Question 3 says, what co-promises could be made to keep both sides of the argument on the USPS happy? And I would say that now we are kind of in a compromise because there's people that like to send things through email, and then we also buy things online, and when we buy things online we use the internet, then get it sent in the mail, and there's still people who use old letters, such as old people.
I actually disagree with what Erin says. But I actually disagree with Erin when she said that we are in a compromise right now. The main reason that this argument is coming up is because more customers are getting dragged away from the USPS, which is why we have this argument right now. So I don't think we are in a compromise right now. So actually, for a compromise, we could get like for improper, less formal things, like people could send emails and text messages, but for like letters to like your elders or more formal occasions, you could like send out letters.
Give it to Alyssa, then it goes to Katrina. Are you ready?
I actually disagree with both Jessica and Erin, but I also sort of agree with them. I know where Erin's coming from, where when we compromise on things. Sorry, I had to point that out. I don't know what compromises means. It's compromise. Sorry. I'm so rude right now. I'm sorry. Basically, we're kind of compromising right now, but the argument still comes up that we want to eliminate regular mail, and as we use the internet to buy stuff, that comes through packaging, which isn't actually mailing stuff. Yeah, sure, it comes through the mail, but we would still have that part of mail even if we dump the other part, which kind of doesn't really go with the argument to me. But then again, like Jessica said, we want to kind of compromise, saying like, yeah, some people can use the internet to send emails, but other was like birthday cards and invitations to go through the mail. And I think that would be kind of like a compromise we can do, while internet shopping could be done through the mail and packaging.
I mean,
The other way.
if people don't want to send using the letters, my name's Katrina. If people don't want to send letters and prefer just emailing, they should just do that. Like, they don't have to argue. I mean, if they are going to argue, why don't they argue about the USPS and the FedEx? Because those two are part of the same thing. They do letters and packages, but instead they choose to pick on the USPS. Yeah.
I disagree with what Alyssa said in the way that when we do buy stuff online and such things like magazine subscriptions, the company sends mail to these postal services that send it to us, and also FedEx and UPS and all these delivery systems. And that's one of the main mail that many people get, is when you buy something online, or if you have a magazine subscription, they give it to you in the mail. And so if we were to get rid of postal services, then we would have to go electronic with the way we read magazines, and the way that, and I don't know how we would possibly get things we buy online.
With the topic of buying things online and using the postal service to get it sent out to you, I think it doesn't affect the USPS in their profit or income, because most people, when they order things online, they want it to come really fast, so they want speedy delivery, which most companies will use FedEx or USP other than USPS, because USPS is like a nationwide delivery service, so it will be slower. So most people use UPS or FedEx, which was faster, so they don't use USPS. And we're on the fourth question. Anyone want to add?
I want to add on. My name's Katrina. And she said how the USPS was
Just say what you want to say.
I know, I forgot though. Like,
Then you can skip to the fourth.
all right. Question number 4. Between Stone, O'Keefe, and McDevitt, who makes the strongest argument to make changes to the USPS? Hers?
Okay. Okay. Where's the other sources? So there's that.
There's 4 sources.
Let me see if okay. For between Stone, his argument is that Stone's argument is practically different things that the USPS can do to make themselves better, because he feels that we should still have letters and emails, but he wants the system to be different so that less people are flocking to the internet, and they start to appreciate USPS more. And then McDevitt, his what?
The question is who makes the strongest argument. So who do you think has the most reasonable? Don't read all of it.
I'm not reading all of it. I'm saying that to me, Stone and McDevitt kind of don't have the same argument. Their arguments are kind of strong in the way that McDevitt is stating that so much money has been lost, and Stone is stating that what he believes would help the most.
I kind of disagree with Aaron. I believe the people who make the strongest arguments about making changes would be, like she said, so it's not a complete disagreement, would be Daniel Stone, and Ed O'Keefe. I can't pronounce his last name, but OK is his last name for me right now. I believe they make the strongest argument because Stone advises people or suggests the USPS to make changes that would compromise or go along with how they do business and how people would stop complaining or would like the post office more, so making changes wouldn't be so bad. And then Ed kind of proposes that if they do make these changes, everything would work out, basically. They would get more money, people would stop complaining, really, and the changes would add up and it would make into a good profit, really. It would all be worth it. So they were kind of similar, but I thought they made the best argument about making changes.
I think McDevitt and Cullen made the best arguments because Cullen mentions how the declines in volume of mail is costing them to lose billions and billions of dollars, which that could go towards finding something new and making it one of the best things instead of having something that's bad. And then McDevitt, he argues that if it weren't for direct mail, the USPS would literally just be gone because direct mail is helping them stay alive and it's preventing the loss of billions of dollars from getting worse.
So for question number 4. So for question number 4, I think Daniel Stone makes the strongest argument because a lot of people complain about they don't like USPS and things like that, but they don't, and they want USPS to change their way of services, but they don't write what should they change. And I think Stone made a really good point on that, how they should change and how they would improve their business by changing. And I think that when you complain about changing, you should mention how they should change instead of just telling them to change.
Okay, this is Aaron, by the way. I agree with Jessica when she says that, because Daniel Stone, he doesn't really want them to leave, and he's not saying that they should just that they should leave or they should stay, but he's giving reasons to back up his facts by helping them find a way to be in between and be both internet and mail. And question number 5. I'm gonna say question number 5.
Let Alyssa read it. Alyssa, read question number 5. So mean to
This is Alyssa, and question number 5 is: both Cullen and Hawkins find value in the USPS. What is their weakness? What is their weakest argument for each? Discuss. Well, Cullen and Hawkins. Let me just. Their weakest argument basically is saying that not everyone appreciates, I would say, they're not, because they make a point out that people like getting personal letters, but not all people like personal letters. People might like the fast lane and want to go with the internet, and I think that that's their weakest argument in it, is that not everyone likes a personal letter, but some, and I believe that is their weakness. Would anyone else like?
I believe that Cullen's letter about USPS, he started near the end, he started talking about the things that he will do, and that's not really reaching out to a large audience. It's kind of like him talking to himself about what he'll do to value letters more, when really that's his weakest argument. And Hawkins, he talks a lot about, he starts saying facts that can't really be backed up about UPS and FedEx.
Hawkins' weakest argument for this one is a lot of people are drawn to internet, and they feel it's a lot easier to just send something, just type something, because many people are just like pros at typing, than to write out a letter. And then in Colin's argument, he says he asks if electronic records could survive for years. And I believe they can, and that's why they've made up like health records, because they know that they'll stay in the system for a while, so like the day you die, so that from generations on they could see. And then, yeah.
Should I go on to number 6? No, I haven't done number 7. Number 5. So for number 5, I think the weakness in Cullen and Hawkins' argument is that they stated their own opinion instead of facts. And with their opinion, it seems like they don't have any facts to back it up or evidence. So, and their opinion doesn't apply to everyone unless they like survey people. So I think that's their weakest point.
I agree with Jessica. Well, I'd agree with her that some of the facts in here aren't exactly facts. They're more of an opinion of theirs. Like saying that people like that kind of personal letter, but not everyone wants a personal letter. It's just in his opinion.
Can you move on to question 6?
Yeah. Question 6. What would America look like?
That was Alyssa, by the way.
That was Alyssa. Question 6. What would America look like without the USPS? I mean, old people, the ones that aren't that good at using the internet, they'd have to get themselves a phone, and they'd have to find a way to use the phone in order to send out like personal text messages or like invitations to other people for what they might be planning to do.
I believe that without USPS, many houses wouldn't. The way that mail is today would be very different. Shopping online would be very hard to do without mail and without all the packaging, and with the way that we package things today would be very different without USPS to mail them everywhere.
So, for older people who have bad eyesight, reading on paper is much easier than reading on the electronic device because of how the screen is projected through the electronic device and everything. So, I don't think America could do without the USPS, even though it is kind of in a crisis right now. But I think then if the USPS wasn't here, then all of the elders will have to learn how to use electronics, which might take a long time, and they wouldn't be able to pay their bills and everything.
I'd like to add on to what Aaron said. Many people are trade manufacturers, like all over the world. We get stuff from China all the time, and they import it to like stores. And I think, I don't know, but so yeah, if it wasn't for the USPS, they wouldn't be able to get that stuff, and we would have to literally go over there to get it and then bring it over here.
I would think that if we did take out the USPS, that there would be more businesses rather than post offices, and more people would have to be driving to the store when they bought their items, and more older people would be having trouble using the internet to type out things when they can barely see what's on the screen. And it would be a much harder life for the elder and even people online shopping, to me. But there would also be more room for more smaller businesses in that case. So there are some benefits to it. And it would be a little bit faster, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You would have trouble also paying your bills.
You can't vote for the next president.
And you can't vote for the next president, of course. Or maybe you could, but everyone would be able to see it, so that's not really
Then
right.
some people might hack in and put it like 60 times.
So this concludes. Yeah, that was Alyssa. So this concludes our discussion for today.